Hey everyone, thank you for joining us for another edition of Ask the Superintendent. With us today is our principal from Little Elm High School, Dr. Libby Pretty. Thank you for joining us. And also Daniel Gallagher, our superintendent, who actually brought in the big guns to help him answer this week's question. A lot of chatter about prom and graduation, and that's actually our topic for discussion. So I know that you guys have been talking and planning. So tell us, what has been the decision on these two very important events for our seniors?
Well, and I have asked Dr. Purdy to join us so that way she can announce these two events. And one thing I'll let the parents and the community know is, as we all know, COVID has been an incredible challenge really since last year. We know that that it impacted both prom and graduation last year. And one thing I think we all remember from high school are really those two marquee events. They're really, I describe them as life events, events that you never forget. High school is full of great experiences, and we all have great memories from high school. But there's two events we all remember from high school, and that's prom and that's graduation. So one of the things that Dr. Purdy and her team have been doing a lot of work on and really focused on is how do we provide these two events for our students and, of course, for their families, so that way they've got memories that will last a lifetime. So with that, I'm going to let Dr. Purdy answer some questions. So Mrs. Jones.
Oh, yes. So Dr. Pretty, let's start with prom. What is the date and where are we going to have prom?
Well, originally we were going to do prom the Saturday before graduation on May 15th. However, we've had to make a little bit of a change and we are going to have prom. It's a little unconventional, but we'll have prom on Wednesday, May the 19th at 7:00 p.m. and it will be at Notting Hill in Little Elm. So students that day, for seniors, it works perfect because our seniors' actual last day of class will be the 18th, where they'll come in and finish their exams. On the 19th, we're going to have them come in that morning in their cap and gown to do a panoramic picture, dismiss them so that they can go and get ready for prom the rest of the day, and then we'll see them at 7:00 that evening for their senior prom.
And I think some questions that may come from that is what kind of safety measures will be in place, because we know that we'll still be in this pandemic. COVID's not going anywhere. So what about the masks and all that other good stuff that we've been doing all school year?
Well, the theme this year is Under the Stars. And luckily at Notting Hill, they have a really nice venue. They have an indoor, but they also have an outdoor patio area so that we can social distance and spread students out a little bit better, both inside and outside. Of course, we will have to wear masks. So I'm very excited to see how we coordinate our beautiful gowns and tuxes with our face masks this year. So that will be very, very different, but it will be fun to see. But also too, the Notting Hill itself, of course, is limiting the number of people that can come, as all venues are, which was probably one of the big reasons why we had to change our original venue, was because of the limitations on size. So this venue limits to 400 people, and that would include the students coming to the prom, but then also to all the teachers working and chaperoning, security, and then also event staff. So for that reason, we're going to limit ticket purchasing to seniors. So seniors will be the ones that can purchase tickets, and now juniors and underclassmen can attend prom, but they would have to do so as a date of a senior.
Awesome.
And I want to add something. And again, it won't be perfect, but remember last year our seniors were not able to have a prom, and I've spoken to several superintendents and different area superintendents. There's a lot of districts that are not able to pull this off. So I want to give Dr. Purdy and her team kudos and a big shout out, and just a thank you on behalf of the district to be able to provide, this opportunity again for our seniors and their families, because it is a major event that they'll remember the rest of their lives. So it's very important.
And that's good news, Dr.
I'm sorry, but we did have a good time this week with the senior sponsors, and we went over to Notting Hill, and it's going to be a really nice event for our seniors. And our senior sponsors are now doing all the final plannings, the menu and that sort of thing. And after those determinations are made, we'll be able to set ticket prices and things like that and announce that prior to spring break.
All right, so more details to come. So
Mhm.
let's transition from one big event to another even bigger event, and that's graduation. These kids work all, 12 years, 13 years for this big day, and that's graduation. And you guys have situated graduation at a venue that you're ready to announce. So go ahead and share that information too, Dr.
All right.
Pretty.
So in years past, we've had graduation at the Coliseum at UNT. This year, just due to the rules of social distancing and the limitations on crowd size, then we're having to make sure that we find a venue that is going to accommodate both our graduates, everyone who works graduation, and then also as many parents and loved ones as possible. So this year, we are moving our graduation ceremony to Apogee Stadium in Denton as part of the UNT campus. And we're very excited to do that because we feel like, our partnership with the UNT and the people of that campus are going to also make sure that they take care of Little Elm, being our neighbors, and make sure that we have the best possible circumstance for all of our seniors, but then also to their families and all their loved ones.
What's the date of graduation?
The original date. So May 21st is our graduation date, and 10 a.m. is our time.
That's Friday morning.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right after school. And
Yes.
the last day of school. Awesome. And I know that I'm not sure how many details you have right now, or maybe you're going to share that with your senior parents and the seniors. But in terms of limitation, you did speak a little bit about managing crowds. Not only is it because of maybe the size of the venue, but because of some limitations in terms of Denton County and what they put on us. So can you give us an idea of how many people each senior might be able to take, or are you still kind of working out those final details?
We have a little bit of detail on that, but we are still working out the final details. Also, too, it also kind of is going to depend on what happens with the pandemic going forward and how much Denton County allows those crowd sizes to, alleviate a little bit in terms of some of the restrictions that are already in place. But right now, we're hoping to be able to allow each graduate to have a good number of parents come with them and family members.
Yeah, and I want to jump in real quick and just mention, last year with what we pulled off at Texas Motor Speedway, that was a phenomenal event. And Dr. Pretty, that was her first graduation as the principal of Little Elm High School. And, all of us, the three of us were out there. It was an incredible event. TMS, they were great partners with us. But like Dr. Pretty said, the benefit of having it at UNT is it is in our backyard. So, there's going to be some advantages there. We're not going to have to drive as far, and it will resemble more of a traditional graduation that we're all used to. So I'm really excited about that. I want to thank the University of North Texas. Of course, I want to thank Dr. Purdy and her team for working through all of the challenges. They've done a fabulous job. And then again, I want to thank our community and the support that they provide us. So it's going to be an eventful spring, but looking forward to these two events for our seniors and our graduating class. So
Well,
lots of
that's like a normal school year, Daniel, eventful spring, because we can say that about high school, right? And that's a nice transition to my next question for you, Dr. Pretty. These two big events for seniors, there are other senior recognitions that we also host. So you said that like our top 10, our scholarship, senior awards, and even our career recognition, we'll still be able to do those things too for our seniors, right?
Yes, we still do plan to have those, and we had scheduled those just like prom and graduation at the beginning of the year, but we knew that we might have to make adjustments. But right now, as it stands, the last week in April is when we have some events already scheduled for the top 10 luncheon, our senior scholarship ceremony, our senior awards, also the career and military signing. Those things will stay as planned. What we might have to do is make sure too, for the social distancing piece, of course, will require masks and, but at the same time too, we'll make sure we communicate that well to parents and students prior to those events so that they know how many family members can attend those particular events.
Well, I appreciate the time that you've taken to answer a lot of these questions. It wasn't just one, but a lot of questions. Daniel, as always, I appreciate your leadership. Thank you for working hard for our kids. We know that these events are very important to their high school career as they close a chapter and move into a new one. But do want to mention that Dr. Pretty does have plans to send out communication next week. So be on the lookout for the details of each event. In case you have more questions, maybe those answers will be in that email. Is that right, Dr. Pretty?
Yes, we'll send an email to all the senior parents. We'll have a flyer, and then we'll post our flyer with all the dates of the events around school, so students will have that to reference as well.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. And that does it for this edition of Ask the Superintendent. If you have a question you would like to ask our superintendent, there's going to be a link on this social media post. You can click the link, fill out the question, and I'll present that in an upcoming Ask the Superintendent edition. But for now, have a great day.